Noah, also known as Nuh, is recognized in Islam as a prophet and messenger of God. He is one of the Ulul Azm prophets. Noah's mission was to warn his people, who were plunged in idol worshipping. God charged Noah with the duty of preaching to his people, advising them to abandon idolatry and to worship only God and to live good and pure lives. Although he preached the message of God with zeal, his people refused to mend their ways, leading to building the ark and the deluge, the great flood. In Islamic tradition, it is disputed whether the great flood was a global or a local one. Noah's preaching and prophethood spanned 950 years according to the Quran, Ahadith and Tafsir. The story of Prophet Noah, known as Nuh, Hazrat Noah in Arabic, is one of the most significant narratives in Islamic tradition. It's detailed in the Quran, and there are variations and elaborations in Hadith, sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Noah was sent by Allah to guide his people, who were indulging in widespread corruption, idolatry, and immorality. Despite his persistent efforts to call them to righteousness and monotheism, they continued to reject his message and persisted in their wrongdoing. Noah preached to his people for many years, urging them to abandon their false gods and worship only Allah. However, his people ridiculed him and mocked his warnings. Despite their disbelief, Noah remained patient and continued to deliver the message of Allah. In the Quran, praise. Noah is praised by Allah God in the Quran in many verses, which shows his great status amongst the prophets. In the Quran 17:3, God states, "He was indeed a grateful servant." Also, from the Quran which states, "Indeed, Noah cried out to us, and how excellent are we in responding, we delivered him and his family from the great distress, and made his descendants the sole survivors. And we blessed him with honorable mention among later generations. Peace be upon Noah among all peoples." Surah As-Safat 37:75-79. And also in the Quran 3:33, it states, "Indeed, Allah chose Adam, Noah, the family of Abraham, and the family of Imran above all people of their time." Story. The Quran states that Noah was inspired by God, like other prophets such as Ibrahim, Abraham, Ismail, Ishmael, Ishaq, Isaac, Yaqub, Jacob, Isaac, Jes, As, Elias, Elijah, Ayub, Job, Haran, Aaron, Yunus, Jonah, Dawood, David, and Muhammad, and that he was a faithful messenger. Noah had firm belief in the oneness of God, and preached Islam, literally, submission, meaning submission to God. He continuously warned the people of the painful doom that was coming in. Asked them to accept one God instead of worshipping idols such as Wad, Suwa, Yagut, Yark and Nasr. He called the people to serve God, and said that nobody but God could save them. He said that the time of the deluge was appointed and could not be delayed, and that the people had to submit to God. God commanded Noah to build a ship, the ark, and as he was building it, the chieftains passed him and mocked him. Upon its completion, the ship is said to be loaded with pairs of every animal, and Noah's household, and a group of believers who did submit to God. The people who denied the message of Noah, including one of his own sons, drowned. The final resting place of the ship was referred to as Al-Jahi, or a Munzalan Mubarakan, Arabic, Ej. S3 Romanized, place of landing blessed. Noah is called a grateful servant. Both Noah and Abraham were taught the prophethood and the scripture. According to Shia Tafsir, exegesis, God commanded Noah to take all species that he needed on the ship. The commentary by prophetic descendants explains the verse to mean 8 animals. Traditional narrative in Islam. According to Islam, he was a prophet, sent to warn mankind of that region and his people to change their ways. He conveyed the message for over 950 years. Islamic literature recounts that in the generations of Adam, many men and women continued to follow Adam's original teachings. worshipping God alone and remaining righteous. Among Adam's descendants, there were many brave and pious men, greatly loved and revered by their respective communities. Exegesis goes on to narrate that, upon the death of these elders, people felt enormous grief and some felt prompted to make statues of these people in remembrance of them. Then gradually, through the generations many forgot what such statues were for and began to worship them. As the Satan slowly deceived each generation along with many other idols. In order to guide the people, God appointed Noah with the duty of being the next prophet to humanity. Early preaching. According to Islamic belief, Noah began preaching to his people both verbally and by example. He would praise God consistently and he urged his people to do the same, warning his tribe of the punishment they would face if they did not mend their ignorant ways. The Quran states that Noah repeatedly told his people, "O my people, worship Allah, you have no other God except Him. I truly fear for you the torment of a tremendous day." Surah Al-Ayf 7:59. Early on, a few were moved by Noah's words, but the powerful and wealthy members of the tribe refused to hear his call. The unbelievers at the time were compelled to rebel by various evil motives. Firstly, they were extremely envious and jealous of men superior to them in any way. Secondly, the people were ignorant of the weak and lowly, who were frequently superior intellectually, morally and spiritually. As a result of their ignorance, they were arrogant and mocked all who they felt were inferior to them, saying, "Shall we believe in you when the inferior follow you?" Noah responded, "Their account is only with my Lord, if you could, but no." When Noah preached the faith of God to them, all they did was revile the messenger, abuse the message and call the whole warning a lie. He then went on to explain the message in greater depth, ensuring them that it was not a message of destruction but it was a message with a mercy from God, and that their acts would lead to destruction if they did not accept the faith. He questioned them, asking why they would not accept what would benefit them in the near future. Noah went on to further, and told his community that he asked of no reward from them, telling them his only reward would be from God. But his people threatened him with being stoned. Accusation. As time passed, Noah became firmer in his preaching. When the unbelievers began insulting those who accepted God's message, believing that Noah would send those faithful away to attract the wealthy unbelievers, Noah revealed that they, the arrogant and ignorant rich, were the wicked and sinful ones. His people accused him of being soothsayer or diviner. Noah declared that he was by no means a mere fortune teller, pretending to reveal secrets which are not worth revealing. Noah also denied accusations claiming he was an angel, always maintaining that he was a human messenger. When the people refused to acknowledge their sinfulness, Noah told them that it was not Noah, but God that would punish them, however God pleased. Prayer. The Quran states that Noah prayed to God, telling him that his preaching only made his people disbelieve. Noah told God how they had closed their minds to accepting the message, so that the light of the truth should not affect their thinking. Noah told God how he had used all the resources of the classical preacher, conveying the message both in public places and with individuals in private. Noah spoke of how he had told the people the rewards they would receive if they became righteous, namely that God would supply plentiful rain as a blessing, and that God would also guarantee them an increase in children and wealth. Building of the ark. According to the Quran, one day, Noah received a revelation from God, in which he was told that no one would believe the message now aside from those who have already submitted to God. Noah's frustration at the defiance of his people led him to ask God to not leave even one sinner from the people he was sent to, not the whole earth like in the Bible. Although there is no proof that God accepted his prayer, as there are many examples of accepted prayers, such as in case of Yunus, Lut, Lot, Suleiman, Solomon, etc. Even Noah's prayer in Some other shape was accepted. God decreed that a terrible flood would come. And yet, Quran doesn't say it came to cover whole earth, and he ordered Noah to build a ship, Fulk, which would save him and the believers from this dreadful calamity. Ever obedient to God's instructions, Noah went out in search of material with which to build the vessel. When Noah began building the ark, the people who saw him at work laughed at him even more than before. Their conclusion was that he was surely a madman. They could not find any other reason why a man would build a huge vessel when no sea or river was nearby. Although Noah was now very old, the aged patriarch continued to work tirelessly until, at last, the ship was finished. Depiction of Noah and the Ark in a Mughal miniature from the 6th century. Noah's Ark depicted in a 14th century manuscript of Rashid al-Din's World History. The Jami al-Tawarikh, Persian miniature from Hafiz-i-Abru's Majma al-Tawarikh depicting Noah's Ark, page number 1405-1447, Noah's Ark and the Deluge. From the Zubdat al-Tawarikh, Mughal miniature depicting the story of Noah. From the Muragga-e-Gulshan family. Little is known of Noah's personal history before his call to prophecy. However, Ibn Kathir records him to have been the son of Lamech and grandson of Methuselah, one of the patriarchs from the generations of Adam. Noah was neither the leader of the tribe nor a very rich man, but even before being called to prophecy, he worshipped God faithfully and was, in the words of the Quran, a devotee most grateful. Noah was married to a woman whose name is not mentioned in the Quran. Some Islamic historians such as Al-Tabari have suggested that the name of Noah's wife was Amzara bint Barakil, but this cannot be confirmed. Most Muslims simply call her by her midrashic name Nama. The Quran states that Noah's wife was not a believer with him, so she did not join him. The sons of Noah are not expressly mentioned in the Quran, except for the fact that one of the sons was among the people who did not follow his own father, not among the believers, and thus was washed away in the flood. Also, the Quran indicates a great calamity, enough to have destroyed Noah's people, but to have saved him and his generations to come. Noah's wife, Nama, is referred to in the Quran as an evil woman. When God emphasizes upon the notion that everyone is for themselves on the day of judgment and that marital relations will not be to your aid when the judgment takes place, the Quran says, marital relations will not be to your aid when the judgment takes place, the Quran says. Allah sets forth an example for the disbelievers, the wife of Noah and the wife of Lot. Each was married to one of our righteous servants, yet betrayed them. So their husbands were of no benefit to them against Allah whatsoever. Both were told, enter the fire, along with the others. Surah At-Tarim 66:10. In contrast, the wife of the Pharaoh of the Exodus, Asia, and Mary, the mother of Jesus, are referred to as among the best of women. This adds to the notion that, on the last day, everyone will be judged according to their own deeds. The stories of the prophets explain that the son who declined to embark was a non-believer. In culture, searches for Noah's Ark have been reported since antiquity, as ancient scholars sought to affirm the historicity of the Genesis flood narrative by citing accounts of relics recovered from the Ark. With the emergence of biblical archaeology in the 19th century, the potential of a formal search attracted interest in alleged discoveries and hoaxes. By the 1940s, expeditions were being organized to follow up on these apparent leads. This modern search movement has been informally called archaeology. In 2020, the young Earth creationist group the Institute for Creation Research acknowledged that, despite many expeditions, Noah's Ark had not been found and is unlikely to be found. Many of the supposed findings and methods used in the search are regarded as pseudoscience and pseudoarchaeology by geologists and archaeologists. Ashur or Noah's pudding. There is a Turkish dessert in remembrance of Noah, which is called Ashur or Noah's pudding. It is made out of grains, nuts, and dried and fresh fruits. These are believed to be the few ingredients left on the ark, used by Noah and his family to celebrate the end of the flood. Tomb of Noah, acclaimed mausoleum of Noah in Cizre, southeast Turkey, near Kudi Dagi. There are several sites that are claimed to be the tomb of Noah. Noah's Mausoleum in Cizre, Sirnek, Turkey. Noah's Mausoleum, Sunni Islam, in Nakhchivan, Azerbaijan. Karak Nuh, Baka, Lebanon. In conclusion, it can be summarized that Prophet Noah is revered as one of the greatest prophets in Islam, admired for his patience, perseverance, and unwavering faith in Allah, despite facing immense challenges and rejection from his people. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of disbelief and the importance of steadfastness in faith. The above mentioned information are mostly based on Quran and Hadiths and other sources.